esta celebración tan linda. And we're going to go ahead and start with our program. I think we got 11 ofrendas, altars. And if you see the orange paper, something like this. And I think it might be the first time in South Chicago and the Southeast that we've done something so the Heglish Community Committee, Adams School, and the Neighborhood House, and the Bush Homeowner Tennis Association at the Neighborhood. I got them all. And so we have quite a few organizations that have sponsored and are glad and ofrenda. The VIA residents here, Juan Diego Center, La Causa Community Center, which is a youth group, is sponsored. Dinah and our family has a beautiful exhibit. We have the Aguilar family, the Castro Sandoval family, the Mulek family. I'm missing somebody. Who am I? Of course, Heglish Community and the Adams School children. And the Dinah family. And also they're all sponsoring. It's a multicultural, event. Es algo de nuestra cultura, pero no solamente de nosotros de hispanos, not just us as Hispanics, but also, and now we have other ethnic groups participating, all honoring our deceased loved ones. And it's a phenomenal thing that's happened with this event. Nice. And and maybe some of the people that have participated might want to say a couple words at the end later on, but something really happened when we started working on this project. And Maria had helped us with the workshop when we first, Maria Villarreal, did the workshop with us. We started working and putting together the altares and learning of how to do it. A lot of us had never done one. And I started reading about it. But we really started remembering our families, and it kept on adding. I think we started running out of room in some of the locations because we just kept on adding all our loved ones on there and remembering all the beautiful things that they brought to the table. And so I think it's really special this year, more than any others, and I hope that we'll continue this event in the future and that other individuals will take it upon themselves to celebrate in their own home. But it's something of our history and our ancestors that we're very proud of. And the more history, they're going to give you more history, but in South Chicago, I think it really had an impact in our families. And it wasn't just Hispanic families. Hopefully the Mulek will come, and some of the others that for the first time they came into our culture and experienced something, they were able to celebrate their father who had recently died. That was one of the special ones. But I'd like to introduce our board members, and the Southeast Chicago Fine Arts board members. Can you please come in front here so we can introduce you? And Kevin's taping, and so Kevin's here. And we have Joanne Paco, Maria and Roman Villarreal, and Marge Carolyn. Oh, there you are. And Carol Clifford. And Carolyn Clifford, she just got married. And Dinah Ramirez, mucho gusto. And this is our board of directors for the center. We don't have a building yet, but that is in the future. That we'll hopefully have a building, and we want it at the lakefront.
Our long-term goal, and I'm going to take over for Dinah a little bit, our long-term goal is eventually to have a fine arts center located on the former U.S. Steel property over in Bush. Hopefully it will have enough space to have workshops in all the fine arts, which would be music, theater, dance, visual arts, and writing. And we also hope to have a theater built there that would house anywhere from 800, would seat anywhere from 800 to 1,200 individuals, so that we would be able to put in performances and bring in performances from all over the world. So that's our long-term goal. But these are our starts. It'll happen. We see it. We know it will happen. Yes. And one of the things is that getting you guys, se va a poder. Se va a poder. And seeing the response that we've gotten, this is our second event this year, and seeing the response that we've gotten from the community and all of you, we really see this as being something that we will be able to accomplish with for the community. South Chicago has been a long time in waiting, in getting things that we should have as far as the arts are concerned, as far as celebrating all of our multicultural experiences here in this community. So we see that as the future for us and for the community.
we'd like to have now Roman and Maria give us a little history of the Dia de los Muertos, because I'm still learning.
Now, this is really impressive. I'm really, well, you know what it is to me? I'm an artist from the community. I've been an artist in this community for a long time. And one of the things that I found interesting, I was one of the first group of artists when they took the altares from the homes and introduced them to the art circle. This had to be somewhere in the early 80s, which was really, really interesting. And then the more this grew and started developing, the more and more they started coming out of the communities and out of the homes and into communities. And it was really interesting. And that's why this is so beautiful to see it, because I've seen so many different authors over the years that they've gone to another level. As an artist, I've seen them go so this totally different, that you don't even realize you're looking at an altar. But when you see the true altars, like the ones that we grew up with, it's really beautiful to see. And I'm glad that it's coming out of the homes into the communities, and I will never say that it's an art form because it's too precious, it belongs to us. But it's really interesting to see how it developed into what it is now, and it actually is an art form. Maria here is going to give you a little bit more history on the actual history of Dia de los Muertos. I just wanted to add this little bit about the arts, being an artist, and how I've seen it develop over the years, and I'm glad it's happened here in South Chicago, and I can see what's happening in the near future that'll grow to another level. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm very happy that this is happening in South Chicago. As Roman stated, when the Mexican Fine Arts Museum opened their Dia de los Muertos in the early 80s to the public, Roman and I were involved in it, and that time they would let you bring in food, bring in real candles and all this, real plants and everything. But now the Mexican Fine Arts, due to things that happen, they just don't allow it. Everything has to be made by paper mache or bought. But anyway, I want to turn around and tell you, this is a way Latinos or Mexican culture, South American culture, offer the dead. We don't think of it as sad. I mean, yes, we get sad and brokenhearted because they're gone, but we also know somewhere in our hearts that our loved ones or people that are dear to us have passed and have gone to a better life. And we know we'll meet them again. That's what people believe. I believe that. I know Latinos believe it. So this piece of paper has a lot of information. I just want to say, paper picado that you see on the wall, they're decorated and you can buy them or you can make them with what your particular individual friend or past parent or past brother or sister or cousin was into. You can create that or just do decoration with paper. The marigold flower, which I see right here, real ones, they say it's to help like the spirit into the world beyond. And they use the marigold very much in Mexico. In Mexico, if you were out there around this time, the cemeteries would be packed with people. They'd be decorating the cemeteries very beautifully. And they have lunch there. They spend the day there. They cry, they laugh, they hear music, they remember. This is a beautiful way of remembering our past family members and friends. At home, in my own home, it's slowly grown, and I tell my babies, my grandchildren, from my children to my grandchildren, I tell them who they were, what they did, and how important they were in our life. And they look forward this year to help create the altar in my home. I want to say special things like water to help them. We also believe that they need something, water, cigarettes, tequila, food. We believe they should have favorite food. Some people get very deep and put maize, corn, which is a staple piece of meal in our diet, Latino diet. Skulls, we're not scared of them. Actually, sugar skulls, if I knew how to make them, I would have taught some. But I haven't learned that technique.
There's a recipe online.
Haven't learned that technique. But you know, you gotta make them into the skull. But if your baby eats that, boy, will they get a rush. Candles help light the way. I see they put a parakeet here on this altar. I'm sure that signifies someone who loves birds. And on the way this skeleton is dressed, it's the way we look at life. You know, someone that's really, you know, we shouldn't be frightened of it. Like Halloween is something to scare us. Well, this Day of the Dead or the skeletons in these altars are not supposed to be feared. They're welcome. Any questions? I see books are on this altar. Someone loves to read. Music, I see. The bottle of tequila, the beer. You said the beer? Okay. And I see a poem here to a mother, which probably relates to all mothers. And as you go on this tour, you'll see different altars representing who they wanted to represent. The one I did this year represents my art friends. I've lost 6 friends in my life that are artists, and I dedicated our altar to that. And also I want to say, after you see the installation in South Chicago, which is East Side and Hegewisch, which I'm super happy we're finally latching on, because it's so hard to get South Chicagoans into this. I hope you go to the Mexican Museum. I heard they have a beautiful exhibit. I haven't seen it yet myself. So if you have the time, please do. And have a good evening.
Can I ask one question?
My hat, actually, my friend who passed away, she was a quilt maker. Her daughter said, Maria, take this hat. Came from Mexico. It was her hat, Venus Blue. I had it for a long time, and my husband says, Maria, can I have your hat to paint? I said, well, if you paint my hat, I'm going to keep it. You cannot sell it. He loves to sell it.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
I ran out of canvas that day.
That's exactly what this is all about. It's not only experiencing something new and renewing something old, but also sharing it. And we're also educating our young. And we, as a group, we went ahead and delivered to all the schools. We just got one more. And we delivered to all the schools on the southeast side, which were about 18 schools plus. And a whole kit on the Dia de los Muertos, information about it, invited them to come out, invited them to do the walking tours, to go around commercial, again, to promote it through the children and the teachers, and they were thrilled, right, Marge? They were just thrilled about having this information. There's a lot of websites out there, too, to help people and to teach them. So we want to educate. Every time we're doing something, we're trying to educate the community in the fine arts. This is just one aspect. There's a lot of others, and all the plays, music. We're looking at other things that we want to do. So if you have an interest, please talk to us afterwards. There's a book going around. Please sign it. It's our guest book. At every site, when you go, please sign it. We'd like to find out if people are really visiting the sites, taking the walking tour. So please sign those, promote it, let people know to take the time. It's going to be up till November 2nd. So the more that you look at it and promote it, the more we want to do it again. And we want to get more people next year, and more sponsors and more locations, so we have all of commercial, the east side and Hegewisch really involved next year in doing it. So the next item that we have is Father. And if you like Father? Yes.
Father is going to do a blessing for us.
Father Moran is going to do the blessing. Thank you.
With your permission, I'll wear my hat also. But I see that, Dinah, there's a little mistake here. It says Dia de los Muertos. But, or Day of the Dead, kind of mistake. The reason we're here is because there are no dead. Just like I say, Julia Lopez takes a trip down Acapulco. Julia, or Atotonilco. When she does that, she's not in the village, she's not in Chicago, but she's alive and well in Mexico, in Cancun, Cozumel, wherever she goes. When the members of our family die, they're not with us in Chicago, but they're alive and well with the Lord. Little baby is born, never to die. So we're not recognizing anybody dead. All these people are alive. They're not with us in Chicago, but they're alive and well with the Lord. So we're recognizing that, this beautiful art form. And also, in Guatemala, something similar to this. If somebody dies at 6:20, you have to be buried tomorrow by 6:20. There's no, what do you call that, when they go to the hospital? They don't embalm anybody. In fact, when you die, it doesn't cost you any money. You'll make a few dollars. Somebody dies, and they lay them out in their own home. They lay them out in their own home, and they borrow the candles from the church. They put a little pot there. People come in and give money to the members of the deceased family. And then the next day they go to the cemetery, and members of the family have to open a grave. And if there's nobody to do that, say they're all kind of old timers, they go to the jail. There's always somebody overnight that can open the grave and bury the person. And then on the day of this day, everybody goes and paints up the monument, paints it up, all different colors. And a big meal, people eat on the grave, but always leave something for the deceased. There's always something there. And I see a little problem here. We see that, well, I think we like to change that tequilazo into water tonight. Some guys say the water is the tequilazo. Anyway, we want to bless all this, recognize the dead in our families. And one custom that they have in Chiapas, because nobody here is from Chiapas, in Guatemala, they have incense. Without the dead, there's no incense. And I began to think, perhaps they have incense, it's because en aquel tiempo no había desodorante. And this incense sirve para eso. So we want to bless it. We want to spread incense. Incense to acknowledge that the dead members of our family are alive and well with the Lord. They're just waiting for us. We don't feel the sadness. The sadness of death is changed into joy. Because by death, life does not end it, it's just changed. One day all of us will be united with our dead brothers and sisters. So we incense the memory of all of the members of our family. We say, La bendición de Dios omnipotente, Padre, Hijo, Espíritu Santo, desciende sobre todos nuestros muertos. Y también de todos nuestros vivos, porque de paso en Chicago. We're just passing through Chicago. Our life goes by like this, and muy temprano vamos a estar unidos con nuestros hermanos y hermanas aquí en el altar. Y que todos descansen en paz. Padre, Hijo, Espíritu Santo. Amén.
Amen. Thank you, Father. We have a little addition to the program, and that we'd like to invite Juanita up. She has a poem that she'd like everybody to participate in. And if you don't have a sheet, there's some here. There's another one back here. Does everybody have something back here? Everybody's got one. Okay, Dinah, we're not done. Oh, I'm sorry. No, come on.
I just want to add on to what Father said, because that's a tough act to follow. But I'm appreciative of being invited here tonight, because in my culture, which is in New Orleans, we do very much of the same thing. I remember as a little boy going with my father to scrub our grandfather's grave and to paint it white and to get it all set up for All Saints' Day. It's a very special day. Up until 5 years ago, All Saints' Day was a state holiday in Louisiana. So it was a day that the kids all loved because they got off to school one extra day. But this is where our cultures come together, because we all believe what Father said, that our loved ones have just passed through either Chicago or Mexico or New Orleans, and they're all together in heaven, and they're waiting for us to come. And in memory of them, I'd also like to bless the altar in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Okay, Juanita.
Ok, quiero que todos me ayuden a leer. Lo voy a decir en español y en inglés. First in English. This is in Spanish. I'm going to say it in both. Okay.
You can say it in English or in Spanish.
Ustedes pueden decirlo como ustedes quieran, yo lo voy a decir en inglés.
Okay.
I said, God, I heard.
You have to say it louder, Juanita.
And God said, I know. I said, God, I cried a lot. And God said, that's why I give you tears. I said, God, I am so depressed. And God said, that's why I give you sunshine. I said, God, life is so hard. And God said, that's why I give you loved ones. I said, God, my loved one died. And God said, so did mine. I said, God is such a loss. And God said, I saw my son nailed to a cross. I said, God, but your loved one lives. And God said, so does yours. I said, God, where are they now? And God said, mine is on my right, and yours is on the light. I said, God, it hurts. And God said, I know.
Thank you. And right now, we'd also just like to add, quite a few of the families came in. And if you can just have just a little bit of what they felt about their altars. And does anybody want to volunteer? Anybody that worked on the altars want to say anything? Don't be shy. Estamos en familia. And Lorraine, or you want to say something?
I'll volunteer.
I'm going to say something about the altar and what you feel about it.
My name is Julia Lopez. I'm the social service coordinator here at Villa Guadalupe. And I want you to know that when we were asked to be a part of this, we were very honored. This is Rose Bermejo, our senior aide, who happens to be my wonderful aunt. And we also kind of felt our way through this whole process because we had never really made an altar before. But with that in mind, what we tried to do, I'm going to explain a little bit. This is what's called a Catrina. And this is a very fancy skeletal woman. And she's very happy. As you see, she's dressed very finely. She has a beautiful gown, a petticoat. We painted her nails. She's very fancy. This, if anybody knew my family, the Bermejos, you knew that the matriarchs of our family were Jose and Erlinda Bermejo. They were two very fine people. This has been very emotional for us. These two wonderful people raised me. I was raised by my grandparents. And if you know anything about my grandmother, you knew that she loved to cook. So I kept one of her pots, and I put Doña Maria Mole there, even though she never used that frasco or that jar. But I figured I'm going to put some of the foods. I dug up her apron. I brought their wedding picture here. This is my aunt who just passed away. This is one of our residents, her son. Pictures here. These are my uncles who no longer live. This is Aunt Rosie's husband, Uncle Manuel, and he was a fisherman, and he loved to hunt. We have Emily Bussard, one of our residents, her husband's here. We have Mr. Furge, his sister. This young man just passed away 2 weeks ago. This is Senor Cotto. Where are you, Mr. Cotto? Mr. Cotto's son just passed away here in our building, visiting his father. So we have his picture here. This is another resident's parents. They're here. This is Aunt Rosie's family, all her sisters. This is my Uncle Henry, who was a steel worker. And I remember as a child that my uncle used to love to listen to Mexican music in the basement. And he would buy his beer at Al's Liquors. And I know this doesn't sound right, but as a niña, as a little girl, he would say, "Mija, ven a tomar la espuma. Come and drink the head of the beer." So, you know, that's what I remember about my uncle. So that's what I put there. We have a little piñata. We have Mr. Poole, who lived here at the Villa and who was a door monitor. Carmen Mendoza, everybody knew Carmen Mendoza. She was the administrator of then Clarisha Medical Center, which is now Chicago Family Health Center. And we put a medical dictionary there. We have many, many residents and their families, all the food, the skull heads, the salt, the dirt. We have Father Fernandez and Father Lemrights. Father Fernandez actually wore this stove. So we pulled it all together with the angels and the Virgen, and it was a very touching experience. And we kind of felt our way, and I believe that every year it'll get better and bigger. And I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you.
This is the Castro Sandoval connection.
Well, this is our very first year of partaking in the altar. My Aunt Teresa, who's Castro. My mom is with me here today as well. It was a very enlightening experience. I am often out of touch with my culture, and I think this was a wonderful opportunity to get back into really realizing what my ancestors were about, their meanings, their traditions, and also taking the opportunity to remember the happy things of our loved ones. My dad, we had the altar at, and this is our first year. I'm reading the different papers to see what I need to do, what it represents, and bringing all of our family into my cousin Barb, making sure that we have all our moms, our dads, our cousins, our nieces, and our nephews represented the best way we can. And I think my aunt put it best. We want to make sure that we're representing our loved ones with pride. So we did the best we could for this year, but it's going to get better next year. And my aunt, if she'd like to.
And my brother Chuck, if I may say, to look at his little box, you know he loves life. And that's what we all should do. Love life. Live it to the fullest. Be happy.
I mentioned something that I overlooked, and we have Miss Lewis in the back, and Miss Jones, Evelyn Jones. This is Miss Jones' family here. This is her husband and her son. And this is Miss Lewis's family back here, right here in the corner. I'm sorry, that was an oversight. I just wanted to acknowledge them. Diversity is important.
I want to jump some fun. Go ahead.
First, we want to thank Dinah and Maria and Marge, and if we let somebody else, and all the people that invited us to be a part of this exhibit. It's not part of our culture, but now it will be part of our culture. And I don't know how many people here knew our parents. I'm sure a lot of them knew our dad, Joseph Mulak. He wrote for The Observer. He was real involved in Southeast Chicago Historical Society, and he was a local artist. And our mom was his companion, for 52 years. And she was interested in gardening and cooking, and he liked music. They both liked music. And if you want to hear more of their story and their life, their ofrenda is at Royal Savings on the corner of 93rd and Commercial.
And it is beautiful.
Thank you. And if you stop by, we tried to use all the information that we learned at the workshop that they gave us, and we hope that we accomplished that. And just looking at all the ones that we've seen so far today, each one is equally wonderful. I ran into somebody at MB Financial, and he says, I wonder who's going to win the contest. And there was no contest. They're all unique and special. And so thank you for letting us be a part of it.
You're welcome.
I want to thank Maureen and Teresa the night that they came here, because through them I learned a lot. Through them I followed Julie, my niece, because I didn't know anything about this here. But when you get involved, you get emotionally involved, because there's a lot of things there that people that you were around and that you loved, and you never forget them. It's not something to forget about. Some people are afraid. It's not to be afraid of. And I am so glad that I got to learn something from this. And I learned through Julie, following her. She had a lot of beautiful things here. And I just was tagging along. Okay, and Rosie, okay. Get this. And I learned. And it's beautiful. You have to get involved to understand what it's all about. Thank you.
When I was invited, I do this in honor of my mother, who I lost 3 years ago. And I've been having a really difficult time in the last 3 years. I can't kickstart what creativity I did have. I've created absolutely nothing. I was invited about a month ago. My mother was an artist, and the piece that you see in the window, interestingly enough, was a piece that she constructed for her mother when she lost her mother. She was an artist, she was a mother, she loved to cook, she loved to read, she loved to study, she loved school. I jumped in on the internet to find out about this, and it was interesting, all the similarities. Even though this is a different culture in a sense, there are many similarities within other cultures, within my culture, that we share. This has been a really exciting and emotionally exhausting experience for me. I'm absolutely speechless. I really can't say. Mine is kind of different because it's trying to distill the essence of one person. And it's a difficult thing to do because there was so much to her. But I want to thank you all for inviting me, and this has probably been the most exciting thing I've done in 3 years.
And it's still City Furniture, so you can go by there.
I saw it this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, the first one, and it was gorgeous. That's the only one I saw, then here, but I got to see all the others.
Emil, did you want to Hegewisch Committee? We need to hear from that side of town.
Yeah. Right. Emil, I want you to tell everybody what you told me this morning.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
This is Emil.
It's no time to get shy now.
Hegewisch Community.
Good evening. I see a lot of familiar faces here.
Say it loud so they can hear.
I see a lot of familiar faces here. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here. This is so exciting. We were first invited. I got so excited and I thought we have to do this. I'm not going to discuss it with the board. No one, we just have to do it. We're going to do it. So we did. And I ran with it. I had some wonderful help. I thought, what a great way to unite community. Because I don't know if many of you are familiar with the Hegewisch Community Committee, but it's become so diversified. And with that, comes some problems. What a great way to teach socialization skills, to bring community together. Maybe I'm, sounding redundant, but my gosh, when I drove up this morning, I felt such a sense of community. I really felt something that I had never felt before when I drove up to the center. I felt a sense of pride, and that's what I shared with you. And as I walked in, I looked at everything, big smile took over my face, and then others started walking by. A Greek man, and he's our landlord, and I talked about what it represented. I said, and we can we can celebrate the Greek culture. I see that in the future. Then an Arabic woman approached, and I said, we can help celebrate the Arabic, culture. And it's been one of the most wonderful experiences of my life. Last night, we were in the center till about midnight. My sister, a niece, my poor niece, she's always being brought in to clean up. Well, we needed her because we were messy, man. Messier than the kids of our after-school program who created the papel picado.
Right on.
And oh my gosh, did we have fun. We had a Saturday workshop, we got parents involved, we had pan dulce, we put on salsa music, we gave a few dance lessons. We really felt like family. What our center should really make one feel like. And I feel that this is the start of something bigger and greater. And it seems like it's attracting more people. People see that it's coming from the heart. It's opened conversation, dialogue about loved ones whom we might never have talked about. I talked about how my mother had a love for writing. She's a great poet, but she didn't do much with her life. She graduated from Thorpe, never finished high school, but she wrote the song that they sang for her 8th grade graduation. And I was so proud as I told that to people who wanted to know about who was, in the window. And I told kids, if you didn't experience a loss in your life from our after-school program, draw a picture, or if you don't have a picture, draw a picture of someone who really means a lot to you, like Martin Luther King. Draw a picture of a pet that you didn't take a picture of, to have in the window. So we have photos of pets. We also honored our founder because we're one of 40 affiliates through the Chicago Area Project, and without him, he started it all. So I really felt like we had to incorporate someone who's a big part of history. And it's a great way to educate community. I could go on and on, I think, but it makes me understand my culture more. It's the first time I ever really took part in an ofrenda. And we're also becoming bilingual at our center. We have Spanish-speaking kids in our after-school program who need to learn English, and we have English-speaking kids who want to learn Spanish. And so this, even brought them closer and made them want to, learn more about each other. And it'll just continue to grow. And I think I'm talking too much.
The meals help. And Bush Homeowner and Tenant Association, anybody want to say anything back there? I know you were very busy at my house, working. And where's Sylvia? Yeah. And Sue? And the Bush Homeowner and Tenant Association, I'll say a few words because my father's there. And it was also a learning experience for a lot of the members there. And it was also a very nice way of sharing time together that was relaxing and enjoyable. And we had them at my house, and we were doing the projects. And this morning we were setting it up early in the morning. Everybody's up early setting it up, and it looks fantastic. I think so, because that's where my dad's at. And but all of them do. And so I'm very proud also to participate with the Bush Homeowner and Tenant Association. And there's who else am I missing here from the groups?
Do we have someone from Adams School?
No, I don't think. Sue's here. Sue's right here. Juan Diego Center, they had a program at Bessemer Park and couldn't make it. I'm hoping that she still comes. But Juan Diego Center has been doing this from the start. They've been doing ofrendas now for years. It has to be close to 10 years, maybe. How long has Juan Diego been? 14 years. They've been doing it from the start. And so I know she would be very proud if Olivia comes in here right now to see all this, that she's sharing this ofrenda also with all of you, because she's been doing with all her children and all that come in through the center to their after-school program, and the families. It's a way of sharing that they usually do on a regular basis, and it helps a lot of the new immigrants that have come to Chicago and to remember their family members, because they're so lonely when they come out here. So it is really important for them to sharing it. But I think I think we got everybody.
Dinah, I'd like Marina to read this poem from a mother.
I'd be honored to.
I'm Corina Ayala Bermejo. Mana Rose Bermejo is my grandmother, my husband, Franklin.
Carta de una madre. El día que está vieja ya no sale la misma. Ten paciencia y compréndeme. Cuando de darme comida sobre mi bolso y olvide cómo ponerme los zapatos. Recuerda las horas que pasan enseñándote. Si cuando converses conmigo repito y repito lo mismo, relatos que sabes de sobra cómo terminan. No me interrumpas y escúchame. Cuando eras pequeños, para que te dormías, tuve que cantarte miles de veces el mismo cuento, hasta que cerraba los ojitos. Cuando estábamos reunidos y sin querer, haga mis necesidades, no te avergüences y comprende que no tengo la culpa de ello, pues ya no puedo controlarlos. Piensa cuántas veces cada niño te ayuda y estuve paciente a tu lado esperando a que termines lo que estabas haciendo para cambiarte el pañal. No me reproches, porque quiero bañarme y no me regañes por eso. ¿Te recuerdas cuántas veces te pregunté así? Y el mismo pretexto, que te inventé para hacer muchos los más agradables tu aseño personal, acéptame y perdóname, ya que lo soy el niño ahora. Cuando me veas inútil y ignorante a todas las cosas tecnológicas que ya no podré entender, te suplico que me des todo el tiempo que sea necesario para lastimarme con tu sonrisa y burlando. Recuerda que fui yo quien te enseñé muchas de las cosas que ahora tú sabes y que en aquel entonces te asombran comer, vestirte y tu educación para enfrentar la vida tan bien como lo has tenido. Son productos de mis esfuerzos, es el producto de mi esfuerzo, amor y perseverancia. Cuando en algún tiempo, platicando, me llegue a olvidar de que estamos hablando, dame todo el tiempo que sea necesario para que regrese a mi memoria. Y si no te consigo recordar, no te burles de mí. And I would love your company. It's a bit wrong. No te burles de mí. Tal vez no era importante lo que estamos hablando de. Y me conformé con que me escuches en ese momento. Si alguna vez no ha querido comer, no me insistas. Sé cuándo puede y cuándo no debo. Yo sé. También comprende que con el tiempo ya no tengo dientes para mordir, ni gusto para sentir. Cuando me fallen mis piernas por estar cansada para andar, dame tu mano tierna para apoyarme, como yo lo hice contigo. Cuando comenzaste a caminar con tus débiles piernas. Por último, cuando algún día me oigas decir que ya no quiero vivir, no te enfades. Algún día entenderás que esto no tiene nada que ver con tu cariño o cuánto te amo. Trata de comprender que esto que vivo no es placentero para mí. Que esto no es vivir, simple, yo lo mejor para ti. Y he preparado los caminos que has sabido correr. Piensa entonces que el paso que adelante construye para ti otra ruta en otro tiempo, pero siempre contigo. No te sientas triste o impotente por verme como me veas. Dame tu corazón, compréndeme y apóyame como lo hice cuando empezaste a vivir. De la misma manera como te he acompañado en tu centro, te ruego me acompañes a terminar el mío. Tu madre de 80 años que te ama.
Wow.
On that note, and we gotta eat.
And next time we gotta remember we have to have tissues at the table.
Yeah.
It has to be. Anyway, I wanted to show you before we start cutting it all up the pan de muerto. And you just have the recipe papers there so you can make it on your own, or you can go to the panaderias out here. And right on Commercial and on the east side, they make the pan de muerto and the conchas. And this is a celebration, and it's a special bread specially made for this season. So please take and enjoy. We're going to pass it around. We're going to pass chocolate because that's also a traditional item. So you're only getting bread and water tonight. and we also will have music, and to accompany us, Frank Corona is going to be playing.
Buenas noches. Antes que llegue Chuy a tocar más canciones, before Chuy gets to play more music, I'm going to play one song that was written in 1810. It's about men in the Revolutionary War singing to death to come. They were ready and ready to come. This song. Tiene la muerte cantando por entre la nopalera. Y en que quedamos, pelona, ¿me llevas o no me llevas? No le temo a la muerte, más le temo a la vida. Singing a song about, I'm not scared of your coming, I'm ready. I'm more scared of living than dying. Viene la muerte cantando por entre la nopalera. Y en que quedamos, pelona, ¿me llevas o no me llevas? No le temo a la muerte, más le temo a la vida. Como cuesta morir cuando el alma te herida.
Joanne, could you possibly move for a minute? Thank you.
Tuesday, 10:30 a.m., man. I'll be there. Okay.
So they're going to set it up in the middle.
I saved some bread and hot chocolate for you. Okay.